welcome back. Let's learn cozy. So today we are going to read Truth Without Apologies. So in previous video, I have done my 35 chapters. So in this video, we are going to read 36th chapter. Here we go. So in I think 36th chapter, it's all about sex. Not sex, but yeah, sex isn't it the problem? Emptiness is. It means sex is not a problem. Emptiness has a problem. So, quotations isn't it sexual obsessions or symptoms of inner emptiness? When you know who you are, sex ceases to be an unconscious, uncontrollable mental urge. Sex is a simple and biological obsession is complex and mental. Understand your desire. You must know what you are really hungry for. Your central and primarily desire is not sex. Sex may appear overpowering and promises to be a deeply fulfilling, but it does not really deliver the goods. We live without self awareness. Our obsession with sex is one of the flaws. If one can figure out what one really must have, then sex will automatically inwardly be assigned its a proper places. It would remain neither a thing to be converted nor a thing to be condemned. For most of us, sex is not just a biological activity to us. Sex carries magnificent notions, the lure of ultimate fulfillment. We are hypersexualized species and society because we do not have inner fulfillment. We place mega emptiness, emphasis on one ordinary aspects of biological being sex. We have expectation from all kinds of material, and we harbor the maximum expectation from the material body. In some sense, great sexual urge is an indicator of great inner energy waiting to find the right direction. Give it the right directions. How? Begin by realizing, confronting, and acknowledge the worthlessness of your current direction. Chapter 37, the final cure for addictions. Addictions arise from an inner void, and the only way to break free is to fill that space with something higher, something truly meaningful. Addictions exists to plug a deeper inner hollow. You must first acknowledge the fact of your addiction. You do feel, perhaps unconsciously, that these things are doing you some good. Otherwise, why would you keep returning to them? Addictions exist because at some level you have nothing better. At least that's what the inner animal believes. It does not understand, it only feels. There is no point cursing the objects of addiction. They didn't beg to enter your life. You went to them eager, needy, and drooling, be it TV show, social media, porn, relationship, money, drugs. They are not the problem. You need for them is why are you going to them? That's a where self-knowledge begins. Look within. You go to them because there is a cry hollow inside, and unless you bring something higher into your life, that hollow will keep sucking your back up, and no matter how much you rage against it, being is something into your life that is a bigger than your craving, something you knew is worth more than the cheap thrills. I refuse to believe that a young person of intelligence and sensitivity cannot think of something nobler to pursue. Set your mind on something higher, something beautiful, and you will find you no longer have time for the pity. Your attention will become a razor sharp. You will know what matters, and you won't want to look elsewhere. What you call distractions or addictions are just symptoms of a purposelessness. You can't be addicted unless you are empty. Fall in love with a purpose, and the nonsense will vanish like a mist in a sunlight. You do not concealing. You need a caution. What is the highest you can think of? What is the most beautiful you can imagine? And why is it not worth giving your life to? Chapter 38. Keep the man aside. The man should not be at the center of the woman's world, and vice versa. Such a thing belongs to the jungle. Humans begins only when you leave the jungle behind. The body, the harmonious, the material, the nest, as long as the remains her obsession. Exactly the same applies in a reverse to men. But for now, let's talk about dear ladies. If you find a person has become too important to you, pause and ask, is this important arise from love or just dependency? Most of the time it is dependency. Dependency masquerading as a devotion. Masquerading means to pretend to be pretend to be but what one is not. Mm, you see the evidence in a glaring disparity. The woman may or may not be the center of man's world, but far more often the man becomes the center of the woman's birth. This loop-sides equation is a source of a chronic stress for both. The undue importance the woman has been taught to her body, her biology, the nest, and the man. These are not separate; they are one tangled complex. Freedom for the woman from her body is freedom from the man, and freedom for the man woman inevitably means freedom for the man as well. Similarly, freedom for the man means freedom for the woman as well. No person, thing, or thought can be the center of your universe. Attainment of your highest inner potentially is what you are born for. Pursuing big desires while remaining small is a pointless. The reluctance, resolve not to remain small is self attainment. Freedom begins the moment you stop begging another to complete you. Only in the freedom can there be dignity and love. Beyond the happiness, chapter 39, you must remember that the goal of life is not happiness but freedom from the tension to obtain happiness. What is the ultimate purpose of life? Earning money or chasing happiness? How can something so shallow, so petty be the grand purpose of existence? The happiness you know has two fatal flaws. First, it is merely a product, product of conditioning. You have been trained to call certain fleeting excitement happiness. Second, it exists only in contrast to sadness. So if you want to be happy, you must first be sad. If you want deep happiness, be prepared to become a deeply miserable first. That is the hidden absurdity of it all. Joy is something entirely difficult. Joy is a reasonless. Joy is uncaused. Joy is not a reaction. It is your very nature waiting to be uncovered. Only the one whose mind is not burned under a thousands layers of a conditionary can know love. Only that one can know joy. The free one is a free from sadness and equally free from the craving for happiness. She does not chase a pleasure. She does not run from pain. She is a light. She sees. She understands. Wow, is that not love? And is that not the purpose of life? Simple, clear, unmistakable. Chapter 40. The earth burns because you do. Man's hunger is not in the stomach, it resides in the mind. That hunger, blind, restless, insatiable, has it destroyed everything it could touch. Climate change is only the latest, the most devastating, and perhaps the final symptoms of this inner disease. You cannot live wrongly and hope to consume rightly. Right life and right coexistence with the earth go together. And what is the right life? It begins with a very simple fact. To be alive is to be a conscious. And consciousness means to know of all that can be known. The knower is the most important before knowing the world. The knower must first know herself. This is a self knowledge, awareness of one's thoughts, feelings, impulsive, and their relations to the world. When the inward gaze arises, life strengthens itself. Right action follows. When you live consciously, you live cleanly. You do not need a sustainability manual. Your carbon footprint falls not by design but by default. Today, our endless emissions, carbon dioxide, methane, oxides of sulfur, and nitrogen, are not just environmental pollutants. They are inner symptoms. The earth is being destroyed by our ignorance, not by our machine. One who cuts forests in already hollow within one who poisons river has already lost clarity. One who pollute the air is already burning inside. Environmental collapse is the outer face of inner darkness. Man, like every organism, is entitled to interact with nature, but how much can we extract and consume, and how many can do that? If 8 billion soon to be 11 aspire to consume like a American or a German, collapse is not a question of it only when we need to be a fewer and we need to consume with an intelligent eyes on our true welfare. Ask yourself, do I really need that the third car? What did the first two give me? What do I still lack that the third will fix? These are not moral cautions, they are cautions of clarity of survival. If you live with awareness, you will consume wisely. No treaties or laws will be needed, but if you live unconsciously, then no legation, not no regulations will help. Whereas when we lead a life that is honesty, self-aware, we find that our carbon footprint automatically reduces with even without planning. Governments are elected by the very people destroying the planet. If the masses are blind, their leaders cannot have a side. You cannot expect conscious regulations from an unconscious population. Summits won't save us, treaties won't stop the fire, no law can fix what the individual refuses to see. Government follow the will of the people, and the people want more comfort, more convenience, more consumptions. No parliament can go too far against its voters. So if the individuals remaining asleep, the system will remain broken. The solution is not a politic, it is a personal. The change must begin within. Should be. And this is not a sermon, this is not a moralism, this is clarity, this is realism, this is the voice of a planet that is running out of time, the cry of the ground that is a burning beneath our feet. Chapter 41. Don't kill desire, purify it. It is not the desire or attachment that is wrong, but the object you have chosen to be attached to. Let your longing be for the truth, and it will carry you to liberations. Desire is not your enemy, attachment is not your downfall. The problem is that you chase, it's what you chase. And the illness lies not in wanting, but in wanting wrongly. Desire, attractions, ambitions, drive, these are not sin, they are scared faculties of the mind, but they become a dangerous, even demonic, when a misdirect, when wastes on what is a pity, fleeting faults. Don't kill your longing. That would be a spiritual suicide. Redeem it, purify it. Let your attractions be for the truth. Let your attachment be to that which liberate. These inner forces are not accidents, they are instrument. If you couldn't desire, how would you ever love? If you weren't drawn, how would you ever move? The critic is not that you are attached. The crisis is that you are attached to the unworthy, the unreal, and the untrue. You chase migrations. and clinch to shadows, worship idols of pleasure and validations, and then wonder why life feel hollow. So be it desires, be fiercely attached, be devoted, but only to the highest, to the which calls you beyond yourself. Be drawn uh, to those who reflects the truth. Be attached to what dismantles your falseness. Freedom does not mean feeling nothing. It means freely, rightly. Let your desires burn